Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about my journey to sustainable health and meaningful success. If you're coming back and you've already subscribed, welcome back. Y'all are my people and I love you so much. And if you're new, I hope you consider subscribing by the end of this video. And if you just recently subscribed and you've joined the squad, I just want to say welcome. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey. Every time I get a notification that I've gained a subscriber, it just makes my whole day. And these past few videos, I've been gaining a lot of traction and gaining a lot of subscribers. So thank you so much for joining the fam. Super excited to have you. I'm going to be doing a lot of filming today, so you'll see a few videos with this look because I'm not going to try to change clothes and make you think that I filmed this on different days. I'm filming it all on the same day and I'm going to look the same way. So I am filming my October 2020 health update today, but I'm going to release it next week so that I give it a whole video because I have a lot of gratitude to share for you all, and I just don't want to cheapen that by trying to fuse two different videos together. And yeah, it's been a whole year since I first released my first health update, which was October 2019, and a lot of progress has been made, so I just want to do that whole video separate. But this video is Nutrisystem week 2, and I did week 1. I filmed that on a Sunday, and week 1 technically didn't end until last Wednesday, and a lot happened in the last few days of week 1, so I want to get into that and give you my full opinion about Nutrisystem week 1 and the Nutrisystem program in general. But first, let's go through Nutrisystem week 2, the quick start guide. This came in my first package. Millions have lost weight on Nutrisystem. With your first week completed, you're already on track to join them. Use this guide along with our convenient app, New Me, to begin the next phase of your journey. Starting week 2, you'll eat 6 times a day. While enjoying the meals and snacks we deliver, you'll practice healthy eating habits by combining Nutrisystem foods with grocery items we call add-ins. So definitions you should know. Power fuels are lean proteins that contain essential amino acids and healthy fats to help you build lean muscles. Later they say power fuels are one serving is 80 to 120 calories with 5 grams of protein or more. High quality proteins that contain amino acids and healthy fats. So I mentioned last week that Nutrisystem does not really emphasize healthy fats, and so in the power fuels or in the proteins it's supposed to also have healthy fats, but they don't have they specify the amount of grams of protein that you should have in a serving of protein, but not how many grams of fat or what kinds of fat. There's a lot of different kinds of fat, like trans fat, saturated, unsaturated. So not all fat is healthy fat, and that's not really explained on Nutrisystem. So you just kind of have to figure that out. And also their examples are like fat-free milk or yogurt, nuts, lean meat, or fish. So you're supposed to have healthy fats, but then they suggest fat-free milk. Or on one of them, I remember they said like fat-free string cheese. So they still are like fat-free. Anyway, just don't be fat-phobic, okay? Have healthy fats. That's my point. Smart carbs are fiber-packed carbohydrates that digest slowly to keep you fuller longer. One serving is 80 to 120 calories with 1 gram of fiber or more. And examples are like fruit, starchy vegetables, or whole grains. And they're nutrient-rich carbohydrates that measure low on the glycemic index. Okay. Okay. I know what the glycemic index is, but if you didn't know what the glycemic index is, it's not like they give you any information on that. They'll give you guides. They give you smart guides for like what constitutes as a smart carb, but it's more of like, if you're the type of person who wants to understand why they're eating a certain way and what is happening to their body with the foods that they eat, this ain't it, fam. this doesn't give you the education that you need to actually make those decisions on your own and know why you're making those decisions. You just know, oh, they gave me a list of carbs that I can eat, and this is what I can eat, rather than knowing what exactly an apple does to you versus what a muffin does to you, in terms of how it makes you feel. It could be the same amount of calories, but there's a reason why foods that are low on the glycemic index are better for weight loss. And it has to do with your blood sugar, and your blood sugar, even if you're not diabetic, you still should not be spiking your blood sugar like that, because it's causing your body to store fat, basically, layman's terms. But I'm going to school to become a health and life coach, so just a disclaimer, none of my advice is actually technically health professional certified or anything. I will be certified at the end of November, but for now, just take this as a slightly well-educated individual who has a lot of experience in yo-yo dieting and who's lost over 50 pounds in the last year and kept it off. So those are my credentials for now. And then they go into vegetables, non-starchy veggies, filled with the fiber, vitamins, and minerals your body needs. And they still suggest 4 or more vegetable servings per day. Free foods and extras are optional condiments and spices you can use to add flavor and texture to your meals. So you can have up to 3 extras. One serving is between 11 and 35 calories. These little indulgences make it easier to stick to your diet. Examples are popcorn, salad dressing, and coffee creamer. Cool. And then hydration. Drink at least 64 ounces or 8 cups of water, or other calorie-free drinks each day. Calorie-free drinks. So I went out yesterday to have coffee with a friend, and I did end up having Diet Coke, which I haven't had diet soda in a very long time. But since it was a calorie-free drink, I thought it was on this plan, and I wasn't really sure. Unfortunately, you have to kind of like really study the lists of approved things, because they do give me a list, and I don't think diet soda was on that list of approved beverages, but it was calorie free. So according to this little pamphlet here, I would have been allowed to have diet soda. Anyway, I'm not making it a habit though. I love carbonated water. I think it's an excellent substitute for diet soda, so I'm sticking with that, but you just don't know. Calorie free doesn't necessarily mean healthy. So eat all of this and lose weight. Your Nutrisystem box is full of your favorite foods made healthier with the balanced nutrition your body needs. You'll eat them along with fresh grocery items each day. Okay. Each day you'll eat all of the delicious food, 1 Nutrisystem breakfast, Nutrisystem lunch, Nutrisystem snack, 1 Nutrisystem dinner, and 2 additional snacks per day consisting of fresh grocery items. So, alright, they don't tell you exactly what your snacks should be though, or how many power fuels versus how many smart carbs you're supposed to have. I did see in the New Me app, they have like the categories that you're supposed to log your food. So it's like breakfast is like, what did you have as the Nutrisystem entree? And then what was your power fuel? So I think that is what they're supposed to like. If you don't have the New Me app, you really don't know what you're doing on this program. I will tell you that. You need the New Me app. Otherwise, there's no way to know what you're supposed to be eating in the 6 times a day that you're supposed to be eating it. So, they gave a Nutrisystem sample day on here. This page is the Nutrisystem sample day. And it says, here is an example of what you might eat on a typical day. For information specific to your plan, please see your New Me journal. So that's all on the app. And they do calculate your plan according to your weight and your weight loss goals. But I'll tell you what I'm doing instead later. So breakfast, they suggest to have, the Nutrisystem double chocolate muffin, which is the entree, and then a cup of low-fat yogurt which is a power fuel. So breakfast and a power fuel. Morning snack is 1 hard-boiled egg. That's your morning snack. 1 protein. Lunch is the Nutrisystem chocolate peanut butter bar. And that's it. Just the entree. Afternoon snack is 1 low-fat string cheese, which is a protein, and a cup of berries, which is a smart carb. Okay. And then dinner is the Nutrisystem hearty beef stew, which is just an entree. And then the evening snack is just the Nutrisystem chocolate chip cookies. And then they said for vegetables, they suggested sliced peppers, tomato juice, cucumber and carrots, and salad. And then always be hydrated. And then the last page just says, stay on track. We have your back. 10 minutes of exercise 3 times a day, 7 days a week can be 210 minutes per week of exercise. So simply choose an activity and do it for 10 minutes 3 times per day. And so you can track your activity in the new Me app. I don't think they give you any particular, they don't give you any like examples of exercise, but they're just like, do activity, basically. That's what they say. So Nutrisystem is obviously a very food specific program. It's not going to be your total fitness program that offers you a lot of exercise options. So just know that. So this is what I will say about eating 6 times per day. For me, that does not work. I do not do well with eating multiple times per day, like kind of snacking. A hard-boiled egg as a snack for me is like, why am I eating right now? Like I'm never really like full, and I'm always kind of hungry. So it's always putting me in, it puts me in a state of always thinking about food. And even when I'm eating one thing, I'm thinking about what I'm going to be eating in 2 hours. And it's not healthy for me to continuously be thinking about what food I'm going to eat. I know that everyone is different in this sense. So I'm not going to say that eating 6 times a day is not healthy. For some people, it is very healthy. For some people, they really can't eat a large enough meal to get enough calories, and like their stomach just doesn't really like that much food all at one time. For instance, my best friend, every time we would go out to eat, pre-2020, every time we'd go out to eat, we would both order a meal, and then I would eat the full meal, and she would eat like a third of her meal and then take home the leftovers. And as soon as we got home, she was eating them again. But yeah, so sometimes it does work for some people to eat smaller portions multiple times a day. For me, it doesn't really help my blood sugar. I like to just have a solid, sustainable meal and then kind of forget about food for a few hours. So what I'm doing for Nutrisystem now is I have grouped those 6 times a day. I've grouped that into 3 meals. So for breakfast, I have the Nutrisystem entree, and then I will have at least, I'll have 2 hard-boiled eggs. So that's 2 proteins. And then I also added a little guacamole cup. Then for lunch, I am having the lunch entree and an apple, which is a smart carb. And then I will have a salad with some protein on it. And so that's a vegetable serving, at least 1 vegetable serving, and then a power fuel. And then for dinner, I'll have the dinner entree, another couple of proteins, like a string cheese or 2. And then I'm having the Nutrisystem dessert / snack thing. And so that has sustained me just grouping those meals. So I'm eating 3 times a day rather than 6. But every meal I'm feeling satisfied by the end and I'm feeling full. That has helped me to not feel as out of control or obsessed over food. In my health coaching practice, I like to talk about hunger and fullness scales. So on a scale from 1 to 10, how hungry are you? And then on a scale from 1 to 10, how full are you? in terms of hunger, when you're at a 2, so you're just like thinking about food, but you're not really like hungry, that's when you should start planning what you're going to eat. And you should never let yourself get more hungry than a 5. So a 5 is kind of like you are ready to eat, you are hungry, but if you couldn't eat for another hour or 2, you would still be fine, but by then, you know, you would get like hangry. A 10 is hangry, okay? So you should never really wait until you're super hungry. You should always feel like you're in control, and you don't have to be eating right now, but you are like hungry and you can eat. And then in terms of fullness, you don't want to eat past a 7. So a 7 is you're feeling full, you're feeling satisfied, but you also could go for a walk. You could continue throughout your day. You don't have to take a nap. You don't have to take a breather. You can just continue living, and food should be feeling energizing rather than like, oh, okay, now I have to digest. I have to take a break so I can digest. So, you know, never wait until you're like super hungry or hangry, but then when you eat, you are eating until you're energized and satisfied, but not until you're stuffed. So in terms of Nutrisystem, what week 1 did to me was that I was always at like a 6 in hunger. Even if I had eaten, I was still like at a 5. Like I could still eat a full meal after my Nutrisystem entree. And then in terms of like fullness, I never got full past like a 4. Like I still could double what I ate and then feel full. So it was a constant feeling of hunger and a constant feeling of when is the next time I'm going to eat. So what I wanted to add to my Nutrisystem week 1 reaction was that in the last few days of week 1, I spiraled. By the way, from here on out, I will be kind of talking about maybe triggering things, because I dealt with binge eating disorder and still kind of struggle with that for several years. So this next portion, I am going to be talking about that a little bit. So if that's triggering to you, then this is the end of the video for you. Thank you so much for watching. Love you. Tune in next week. But for the rest of you, here's what it was. By Monday night, I was so hungry because I hadn't budgeted my time as I wanted to. So I was getting to bed a little bit later than normal. And I normally take these gummy vitamins at the end of every day. And after taking my dose of gummy vitamins, I felt this like uncontrollable, like I need to eat this whole bottle of gummy vitamins. And I will say I did not eat the whole bottle, but I had more than what was on the recommended dosage of the bottle. And that made me feel super defeated and just like really sad, to be honest. And angry, because I was hangry at that point. I was at a 10 on the hunger scale. Don't overdose on vitamins. Don't do that. But yeah, so I had more vitamins than I should have. And then I decided, finally, I was able to gain like some sort of control. And I was like, I need to eat something. Like I need to not eat these vitamins. I need to actually eat something. So at 11 o'clock, I crawl out of bed, take my cold butt over to my kitchen, heat up a can of green beans, and then take the green beans back to bed and eat these green beans while sitting on my bed like an animal, just like shoving them in my face. And I felt so out of control and ashamed and defeated. And like weird that I'm eating a can of vegetables. So it's not even that I went off plan. It was like, I just felt the same kind of shame that I would have felt if I was binge eating on a whole pizza from Domino's. You know, I felt that same kind of like eating disorder mentality. And then the next day, I was trying to wait until 3 p.m. to have my afternoon snack because I'm very particular. If I'm going to be on this timing schedule, then I want to make sure that I'm not eating everything too early so I have that same thing happen at the end of the day where I'm eating green beans in bed. So I was like, let me just wait until 3 to have my afternoon snack. Well, by 2:40, I was just hangry again, trying to open this cookie packet, and it wasn't opening as soon as I needed it to, and I was like, oh my god, I'm just gonna like throw something across the room because I am getting so damn angry because I'm so hungry. And so I finally ate the damn cookie, and I'm sorry, I'm trying not to swear, but it happens. I ate the cookie, and within 20 minutes, I could literally feel my blood pressure, like my heart rate was dropping, my shaking had stopped, my mood was improving, my focus was improving. I could actually do work because I was not able to focus during that time. I wasn't able to do a dang thing for work in that 20 minutes. And like, I was just calming down, and I felt like it was like Twilight, and I was Edward Cullen trying to turn my bride into a vampire without killing her. That was my level, okay? I felt like I couldn't stop, and I joke about it, but it's actually a very serious thing, especially if you have eating disorder tendencies or a history of eating disorders. To cut your calories down to that level and to allow yourself to get that hangry, which is hungry and angry if you're not familiar with the term, to allow yourself to get that out of control is just so unhealthy mentally and physically. So I think I touched on this a little bit with Nutrisystem Week 1, how it cuts your calories down a lot. And I will say that I am not like a medical professional, but I'm going to link a video in the description below from nutritionists who also reacted to the Nutrisystem program. They break down the quality of the food, which is high in sodium and highly processed. And they also talk about the effects of on your metabolism by starving yourself for that first week. It made me really angry because that's Nutrisystem's tactic to make you feel like you're being very successful in the first week and make you feel like Nutrisystem is going to be the thing that helps you get back on track and lose all that weight and keep it off. I mean, that's what they say is like, eat all the foods you love, lose the weight, and keep it off while still eating foods that you enjoy. Well, the problem is that yeah, you'll lose a tremendous amount of weight in the first week, but then your body is shot. If your body is a furnace and the metabolism is your fire, and the food that you're eating is fuel to fuel that fire, and you're also deeply breathing, so, regardless of whether or not you're doing exercise or you're even capable of doing exercise, just take deep breaths periodically throughout the day so that your body is in a relaxed state. It's not stressed, it's digesting, it's absorbing nutrients, and you're just able to metabolize a lot better. Fun fact, deep breathing really helps you lose weight. But it really just shuts down your whole furnace. It shuts down your fire. And so then when you start adding more fuel to the fire, it takes a while for your body to even adjust to metabolizing and processing and turning that food into energy and releasing that energy, because by the time 7 days have gone where you're eating less than the recommended minimum calories to sustain an adult, your body is in starvation mode, like legit starvation mode. Not, like withdrawal from cravings. That's a whole other thing. In terms of solving cravings or eating the foods that you love, here's what I have an issue with. I have an issue with the idea that you can eat a muffin or a very sweet like apple strudel bar in the morning and feel like you're eating all the foods you love, but then when you get off of Nutrisystem, they haven't given you the understanding or the education that you need to know that an apple strudel in the morning is not sustainable for a breakfast. Even if you have a small serving of apple strudel, like a Nutrisystem apple strudel bar, that's not the same because Nutrisystem infuses all of their foods with protein. So to have, a margarita pizza or to have a double chocolate muffin in the morning, those foods from Nutrisystem have protein in it, whereas the actual normal version of those foods don't. So it's not sustainable in the sense of changing your eating habits, because once you're off of Nutrisystem, if you're eating the same types of food, even if you're portion controlling, it's not going to have the same effect, and you're going to start feeling a lot more hungry because you don't have that protein in the foods. Not only that, but Nutrisystem still has high carbohydrate foods. I guess what I'm thinking is that if you really want to have a sustainably healthy life, the foods like pizza and muffins and cupcakes and like just high carbohydrate, highly processed foods, those should become foods that are like worth it to eat, but not what you're eating as an entree. You're having it on occasion. You're having it when it's worth it, or when it's a celebration, or when, like you're having birthday cake on a birthday, but you're not having cake or you're not having dessert every single night. You're having dessert when it's worth it. And then you're taking enjoyment and really enjoying the foods that you're normally eating, which is like vegetables, protein, fruit. You can have fruit on a daily basis that's healthy for you. But to have a cupcake every day is not necessarily healthy for you. And so I think that tricking yourself into eating all of the foods that you're used to doesn't do your blood sugar any favors. It doesn't help with cravings. In order to get rid of the cravings, you have to abstain from that kind of food for a longer period of time so that your body is not hooked on that constant sugar. And Nutrisystem still, even if you're eating the diet version of those foods where you're eating, protein infused cupcakes or whatever, you're still eating a cupcake. You're still eating a lot of sugar. And your body is still demanding like a hit of that sugar every few hours if that's the routine that you have. So it doesn't really break eating habits. It doesn't break unhealthy mentality towards food. It doesn't even really educate you on how many proteins versus smart carbs you're supposed to have. And it's kind of tough to think that this program is going to be something that promotes sustainable health. I think it's more of a crash diet or like a fad diet where you get to eat all the foods that you like at a diet version of that. So it's infused with protein, and you do lose weight, and you lose most of the weight in your results. Most of that weight will come off the first week because you're starving yourself and then you're killing your metabolism. But it doesn't really teach you anything, and it doesn't really do anything to change your habits. And I think you can change what you eat all day long. You can do crash diet after crash diet and try to lose the same 15 pounds over and over and over again. But in order to actually adopt a healthy lifestyle and have the body and life that you want, and have the relationship with food where you don't feel like food controls you, but you are in control of what you eat, and you enjoy eating what you eat, even if it's healthy. Nutrisystem I would not suggest to be your program. If I didn't know what I know about like carbs and protein and healthy fats, and if I didn't know what I know about blood sugar, and haven't taken a lot of extensive effort to learn about emotional eating and my relationship with food, this program would just be another crash diet. And I'm really disappointed that Nutrisystem has people eating less than 1,000 calories in their first week. I don't think that's a healthy thing. And it's made me pretty distrustful of Nutrisystem as a health program, because if you think that it's healthy to cut your calories that much, I think that they have you doing that not with your best interest at heart, but for their marketing interest at heart. They want to be able to say, like, have people say that they lost 10 pounds in their first week at Nutrisystems, but they don't care whether or not you'll experience that weight loss, and then you'll beat yourself up after week 2 and only losing 2 pounds, whereas week 1 was 10 pounds. And then if you don't know what you're doing, after week 2, you're like, well, I only lost 2 pounds, so let me restrict that again. Maybe I need to only eat, maybe I only need to eat 1 protein, or maybe I can just have my smart carb and not have the protein so I can cut the calories. But it's so much more than just counting calories. Weight loss is so much more than counting calories. And healthy food is a lot more than low calorie or high protein. Just because it has a lot of protein doesn't necessarily mean it's healthy. So that's my long rant on Nutrisystem. Week 2 has been going better now that I am eating 3 times a day. And to be honest, knowing that week 1 kind of shot my metabolism, I've released the expectation of my body to lose weight. I think I will still lose weight. I've just released the pressure to lose weight. If I'm watching the scale and it never moves again this whole month, I'm not going to stress about it. Nutrisystem for me is just a meal plan that I don't have to prep, but I'm not expecting tremendous weight loss results from it anymore. And I certainly will not let myself get to a level where I am binging or eating out of control or hangry. I am going to address my hunger signals and honor my body when it's telling me that it needs to eat. And yeah, I had so many feelings after that first week. I was very angry at it. And then this second week is going better, but like I said, I wouldn't recommend, as of this point, and I'll continue to kind of fuse some health coaching tips with my videos about Nutrisystem, so that you're not only getting a review, but you're also getting some like healthy mindset with regards to just eating in general. But as of right now, halfway through week 2, I am not going to suggest this kind of thing to my clients. And I certainly would hate to hear that people are reading Nutrisystem things and thinking that Nutrisystem is going to give them the education that they need to make this sustainable, because they don't break it down for you like they should. They definitely should specify macronutrients, and they should have you eating more food for week 1. That's ridiculous. So anyway, I hope I articulated my thoughts pretty well this video, but that's it for this week. Tune in next week for my October 2020 health update, and I will update you on how Nutrisystem is going, and if any of my thought process has changed through week 3. I'm doing Nutrisystem for 8 weeks, so maybe the Nutrisystem focus will be less and less as I've covered the program and the extent of the program, but I will still continue to give you guys some like tips and advice and whatever on healthy eating, because I think that Nutrisystem has a lot of flaws and a lot of gaps, but it's allowing me to see how much has changed in my own relationship with food and how I can coach you to go through whatever program you're going through with a healthier mindset towards weight and towards food and towards eating in general. So anyway, love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next Wednesday for an anti-MLM video or Sunday for another health content thing. Okay, bye.